Hi all, and thanks for watching. In this video, I'm just going to go over my ENB with SweetFX with your Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Now, this adds FXAA, HDR, curves, LUMASHARPEN, VIBRANCE, and LIFTGAMMAGAIN, all to enhance the actual base game and help sharpen it so that you can see more detail in the game without actually changing the overall feel to the game. And if you notice right now, I'm running it in a split screen so that you can actually get a side-by-side comparison of the vanilla and the modded game, the left side being the vanilla and the right side being the modded game. And if you notice, the vanilla game is actually nice looking, although it does have kind of a grayish overtone to everything, and it kind of smudges the colors and the underlying blacks and such, so they don't really come out in their true colors, more of a kind of grayish looking color. And as you can see on the right side with my mod, that grayish overtone has been removed and the base colors and detail are actually coming through a lot more clearly. So I'll actually switch off the effect here so that you can kind of see what I mean. And as you see, once it's turned off, that side that was using the actual mod has now kind of turned a grayish color, and the actual colors around the character, the monster itself, the colors are kind of smudged out under that gray. So I'll just turn it back on here, and as you can see, that really sharpens it up, and now you can really make out those base colors. And if you notice, the light level hasn't changed a lot, but because the blacks and the shadows come out in more of a true black, it does tend to make the game look a little darker. So you will want to just adjust your light level when you have the mod running. So to start off, I'll just go to my options here. Now I am running the game in 4K, although the game itself has a bug with 4K resolutions and higher, and that is that your quest menu won't come up. You'll be able to tell that the quests are there once you scroll over it, as you'll hear it clicking on the various quests, but the actual text for the quests won't come up. You won't be able to see anything in the quest box. And the way that you fix that is you have to run the game in 1440p or lower. Now for the video, I'm just going to do it in 4K, but I'll actually show you the quest bug in order to kind of let you know what to expect if you try to run it in 4K. And as I said, you basically just want to run it in 1440p or lower, and that will correct that in-game issue. Now as far as my graphics, I'm using the highest settings here that are available, and I do have my brightness level up so that it brings up those dark areas. But if you notice, you can't really see a difference here in the menu between the modded side and the vanilla game, as that gray overtone isn't really showing too much here, and the actual level isn't really that different in the actual light level, so you shouldn't really notice too much of a difference. But again, as you notice, I do have my light levels turned up a bit. Now I'm just going to load a game here so that I can show you in-game the side-by-side comparison and the various things to expect as you're using this mod. The Reshade and SweetFX mod is based off of the same settings. The only difference is that it uses a SweetFX 2.0 settings file, and the ENB in SweetFX uses a 1.5 settings file. So if you chose to change the actual settings file, then just remember the version number, 1.5 for the ENB version and 2.0 for the Reshade version. So I'll just load a game up here and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are in game, and if you notice the kind of ruin face in front of us, now in 4K you do get a really nice look to the game, but you'll notice that the really fine detail along the rock face isn't coming through as clearly as it is on the modded side. You're actually getting the shadows and such are coming through more clearly, and you're able to see more of that base detail. And I'll just kind of turn here so that we can kind of have a look around. And the rock face in the back, you can see all the finer detail and such coming through on the rock face. And again, the vanilla side does look nice, but with that kind of grayish overtone, it does smudge out a lot of that fine detail and cover up a lot of the base coloration, so it doesn't look quite as nice as it should. So I'm just going to head here around the corner and we'll be coming up to a town here. And if you look in the distance, you'll notice the difference in the actual rock face and the ruins and such, where the base colors are coming out a lot more clearly, and you're able to make out a lot of that fine detail, even on her cloak on the back, the centerpiece running down that. You can make out the designs quite clearly on the modded side, and when I turn, and now you're looking at it in the vanilla side, those actual designs are kind of faded out and you can't quite clearly make them out. Okay. Now, as I said, the light level is pretty much the same, but because of the shadows and such coming out a bit darker, you do want to raise that light level. But if you look up in the sky area, you can see that the sky is actually coming out a lot more clearly. You can make out the clouds and such moving across. And I'm just going to head this way so that we can head over to the town here. And I'll just look at this tree here. And if you notice, the colors are basically the same, just they're coming through a lot more clearly, and you can actually see those base colors for what they are. So just a bit further up here, and just past this archway, we should come to a town. So I'm just going to head over here. And now I'll show you the background there. If you look at that pillar, you'll notice that you can make out those designs a lot more clearly on the modded side as opposed to the vanilla side. They're kind of faded out. You can see them, but you can't see them quite clearly. And I'll just move over, and now looking at the whole pillar, you can make that out a lot better than the vanilla game would normally look. And same thing for the actual character. If you notice, the actual skin tone is coming out more of a skin tone color, and you can see the designs and such on her clothing. The gold leaf is coming out a lot more clearly. You can see that there's actually a design on it, whereas when she shifts over to the left, that kind of fades away and you can't quite make those out. I'm just going to head over here and we'll just have a look around here. Now the same with any building or anything in the game, this will enhance the overall look of any of the various dwellings or foliage or ruins or anything like that in the game. So I'll just kind of show you there on the roof. As you can see, the modded side, you're getting a lot better detail in it, and the shading and lighting looks more natural. Whereas on the vanilla game, it does look nice, but you've lost some of that detail. Now, I did mention the quest bug for running the game in 4K, and I'll just bring up my quests here and show you what I was talking about. So when you run it in 4K or higher resolution, you can't actually see your quest dialog there. As you can see, the quests are here, because I can move my mouse over and I can click on them, but nothing is coming up. And the way that you fix that is just set your resolution to run in 1440p or less, and that will correct that issue. And also, if you look at the actual health bars and such, the design along the base of the screen there, it's coming through a lot more clearly, but there's not so much of a change that it changes the overall look of the game. Now we'll just head over here and listen to what they have to say here.
Everyone just stand back. The warden can't work when you're crowding so close. Go back to your business. Go on.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'm just going to head out of town here, and
Welcome.
I'll just show you how the game performs. You shouldn't really notice any performance difference when you're using the ENB with SweetFX or the reshade with SweetFX. And if you do have any performance loss, just let me know on the mod itself, and there are a few things that I can help you with in order to correct any issues that you might have. Okay, so we'll just have one quick look around here. I'll just grab that item. And same with this, I'll just grab that. Oh, nice. Magic longbow. Now the bug that affects the quests doesn't seem to affect any other part of the game. So if you start running the game in 4K, you won't actually notice that until you go to your quests. So I'll just go here to my inventory. And I'll just equip that longbow. That way when I save the game, I'll already have it all set. And we'll just fight a bandit here. Alright, so that should just about do it, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If there are any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I'll talk to you again.